Hello and welcome to Leagues Ahead. Leagues Ahead is the vodcast of the Arena Gauntlet League where we offer looks forward into tournament offerings which are about to launch, to discuss the mechanics, to discuss the set, and to discuss how our tournament series is going to progress. I'm the tournament organizer for the AGL and the founder. My name is Christopher York, and my guest today is Jordan M. He's well known for being a top performer on our server, member of the LC, and in this case just happens to be the lead designer for our upcoming Avatar: The Last Airbender tournament, the latest installment in our series. Welcome, Jordan.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I've been looking forward to this league for a while now, so it's
Okay.
nice for it to finally get here. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as befits the what I understand is the flavor of the set, you went off for a sort of period of solo meditation, and you came back down from the mountain with a rule set more or less fully fleshed out, and everybody else just kind of like pitched in here and there. But I think now you can tell me if I'm wrong. We were thinking about new directions the tournament could go that would be in line with the flavor, and you're like, hey, what if instead of for their entry fee, we offer players two tournaments instead of one? Is that a good description of the last Airbender rules? Can you take us through them?
Yeah, so been sort of playing around with this idea of like a reset within a league.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think, you know, we occasionally, now it's very occasionally, have 3 week leagues. And I always kind of thought about, okay, what if we just had, you know, 2 3 week leagues back to back, where
Yeah.
people could just sign up and, maybe it's a set that doesn't really support like a full 6 week experience. And so we could sort of go from one league into another and people don't get, sick of something. Um, so that was kind of the start of, just this idea. And I've always been interested in like pool resets, kind of what we did with the one league, um, where instead of just getting one pool at the start of the league, you have to do well with two different pools, and it just skill testing in another way.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
mean, I think that what you're saying is probably applicable to things like Spider-Man League, right, or through the Omen Paths League that we just got through. I can't help but think like a mid-league reset would have gone a long way into keeping people less jaded about the format, right? That seemed like a lot of people were saying this is a 6 week league that could have been cut down into a 3 week league. If we had a reset point in the middle, I think probably, I mean, it would have been slightly minimized, the negative feedback to that tournament.
yeah,
Although, to be fair to our players, most people, put the responsibility on the set and not, Adam and the rest of the LC, myself, right? Because we did the best that we
yeah,
could given the set that we had and the information we had at launch. So that being said, I mean, player feedback has not been overwhelmingly negative, but there have been grumblings that this is a small set and a small set shouldn't support a full 6 week league or what we call a campaign league. And we've heard that. And maybe, I'm not going to put this, I think this idea was already in the works before feedback from Spider Man came rolling in, right?
yes, yeah. I've sort of had this idea for almost, maybe even almost a year when Avatar was kind of released, or like when they announced it. I mean, I'm a huge fan of the show, and so I sort of like
What,
knew that I wanted
of leagues ahead, you
to.
mean? Or I know what you
Leagues
mean.
Ahead and Avatar, yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was sort of like thinking about ways to uh, really embrace like the lore and the world of Avatar. But I will say that yeah, this idea of having like 2 3 week leagues instead of one 6 week league, that could have worked maybe pretty well with Spider-Man, I think, where
Right.
you have a 3 week league of Spider-Man. We use the set. It's obviously not ideal, but for 3 weeks, people probably would have been pretty happy to just sort of play a little bit with the cards, and then we could have done something entirely different for the next 3 weeks. Um,
Yeah. Well, let's talk a little bit then about the mechanic of a pool reset, right? So I would say that you could look at a continuum of mechanics, and the idea of a pool reset would come into play in each of these. So on one end of the spectrum, right, we could design a tournament. It would be really unpopular where there's no reset, where you just have like 6 packs of sealed and you play that for 6 weeks. That would still be a
yes.
conceptual kind of tournament that we could offer, right? I'm guessing that it would miss a little bit of the pop, right? Because the comeback pack mechanic in the vanilla leagues serves not as a pool reset, but at least as a pool refresh, right? Or a top up.
Oh, yeah. Even more. I mean, you think about, we start with 6 packs and we end with 16.
Right.
So the majority of your deck by the end is from the comeback pack mechanic.
Yeah. It's not just Theseus's ship, it's like Theseus's battleship by the time you get across the Mediterranean, right?
Yeah.
It's reinvented itself in dramatically new ways.
Yeah.
So if we take like the hypothetical bad league of just taking a sealed pool, running with it unchanged for 6 weeks, that's one end of the continuum. The other end of the continuum would be this, and I have this kind of idea aside for a hypothetical jumpstart league, which might never happen.
Jumpstart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which is that you reset every match, right? At the beginning of the
Right.
match, you
Yeah.
got a new pool. Boom, you play your match with completely new cards. Now that's going to be time consuming, but probably pretty high in the dopamine side of things, I would think, right? And we have all the tools in between, like those two extremes for crafting tournament experiences. So this is a slider which is probably somewhere right in the middle, right? Because you go through half the league,
Yeah.
like regular comeback packs, and maybe some extra cards. We'll get into the finer tune part of the mechanics later on, but then boom, week 4 happens. You get a whole new, not only a whole new pool, but a whole new tournament format, which is something we've never tried before. I think it's time to start talking about the rules in a more concrete manner. Jordan, take us through the masterpiece, the Basilica, which is this rule set. Walk us through room by room.
Yeah. So I think in a sort of broad overview, the designer for this league is not entirely new. It's basically a saga league where each week we have a sort of like a twist on the rules that kind of follows the story or the setting of Avatar flavorfully. So for the first 4 weeks, we have each element sort of inspire a rule. Um, so in week 1, we've got air, which is sort of the element of freedom. And on this week, you're picking for your offset packs. For your comeback packs, you're picking from the offset choices, the last 6 standard sets. Um, and so this works pretty flavorfully of like not being constrained to Avatar. It also works well to introduce some chaos early, um, with the knowledge that the rest of for the rest of the league, we're mostly going to be using the last Airbender packs um, as comeback packs.
Okay, so
So
let's just stop after each week and talk about it a little bit, so we don't go through it like it's a vast and ambitious rule set. I'll say that.
yes,
It's probably on the
this
higher end of
is.
complexity.
Uh, you, I think you can always tell when I'm the lead designer.
Things get crunchy. Things get crunchy up in
Is
here.
things get a little
So
crunchy. I like things changing.
so look,
Yeah.
the you know, what about the objection that whenever you offer players a choice of packs, the idea that taking anything but the base set is going to be a trap? Do you think that we're offering players the opportunity to hurt their chances competitively in the tournament by offering them non-avatar packs? Or do you think that there's a dominant strategy? Do you think there's a set that's going to dominate and be chosen more often than the others that is not avatar?
So it's actually really hard to tell um, coming in without having playing the set.
Sure.
But you basically have uh, there are always going to be people who want to take uh, you know the last Airbender packs because you can build synergy and that. However, we've seen in past leagues where taking an offset pack has been the dominant strategy.
Right.
Um, so in Duskmourn, taking Theros Beyond Death became very popular. In Wilds of Eldraine, people were able to take March of the Machine and do very well with that strategy. And so I I think it's too early to say whether it's going to be a trap or not, because it could be the case where taking Final Fantasy is actually better for your long term uh, league results.
Yeah.
Uh,
Do you
but it's just hard to say.
do you foresee a lot of people going back to Spider-Man? That's one of the last six standard sets. Is it fair to say that we really only have five live options for packs, or
It
people could take
it
Spider-Man if they
might
wanted to,
be
but too
it might
soon?
be four. I don't know how many people are going to take Foundations.
Right. Right.
Also, but I think I could see people. I see people taking a lot of Final Fantasy. I see people taking some um, Tarkir,
Right.
Dragonstorm. I think those are incredibly strong sets, and I don't think you'll be uh, it'll be too much of a. I don't think this week is weaker
Right.
necessarily,
Gotcha.
um,
Okay. So
but it is just going to be different.
right. I noticed that for weeks 1 through 4, you've named certain players as avatars, and the first avatar is Johnny M, former LC member himself, and our first player of the year in 2021. What is the role of the avatar? What's he doing here in week 1?
Yeah. So so in the world of Avatar: The Last Airbender, you basically have people born as this avatar that can use all four elements, but uh, there's sort of like these four nations for each: the air, water, earth, fire, and the avatar is sort of like born into that nation in a cycle, and so it's always air, water, earth, fire, air, water, earth, fire. Um, so this is just sort of it's a fun little extra bonus to sort of recognize our past Player of the Year winners. We're about to crown a new one.
Yeah, that we
Tournament
should
is
note that the
ongoing.
Player of the Year tournament's kind of happening concurrently. You're playing in that, as I understand.
Yes.
How are you?
So
How's it
the
going so far? Just quick sidebar, Pody check in. How's Jordan
quick
doing?
sidebar. Going well into the semifinals.
Nice.
Slightly concerned about the semifinals in terms of we just got our pools rolled for that, but well, the hope is always just make it to the next week.
Right. Exactly. Well, my money's on you in the player. I'm not afraid to reveal that in the player betting portion to see who would make it into the finals. I did put one of my chits on you, so no pressure.
Yeah,
Hoping for
yeah.
that league entry. If you could make
This
it
is
through to the
classic.
finals, that'd be great.
Classic sports gambling. People are just pressuring the players to do well so that their bets pay off. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Exactly,
get it.
yeah. And then of course, the more that you're hassled this way, the less likely you are to perform well because you get inside your head, oh God, people are counting on me, right? But what you gotta do is
Yeah,
take a deep breath, calm those waters, forget I said anything, and just push ahead like you've been pushing ahead, Jordan.
yeah.
All right, back to Johnny. What the hell's he
But yeah,
doing in week 1 here? What's he doing? He's a former player of the year, and he has a certain
yeah. So
role. He has a certain ceremonial role, as I understand it.
yeah. So and maybe we can kind of go over this after uh, the four pack mechanics. But there's a faction mechanic um, as part of these first 4 weeks um, that will sort of be around these various side events, and these player of the years will sort of get to they get to sort of design or select a cube to to have as that side event. Um, and this faction mechanic will be sort of a much lighter touch than, say, in Tarkir Dragonstorm, but the hope is for it to be sort of a fun um, community building competition, and there's a decent prize of the winning faction. Everyone in it gets a free league entry. So,
And as I understand it,
um,
you're the donor behind this, which is
yes,
incredibly
I got to
generous.
put my money where my league design is, and
I mean,
yeah, I have.
I mean, right now we have, I think, 110 or so entrants into the tournament already. Divide those into four. I know that you're our
Divide
biggest
them into
historically.
eight
Oh, our
factions.
eight factions. Okay, so historically, you've been
Yeah,
our
so
league's biggest earner in terms of lifetime winnings. I think, right? What are you at right now?
I
If you don't
broke a
mind revealing.
thousand
Huh?
a little bit ago, I think.
You
So
what?
I broke 1,000 in league winnings. I think a
Congratulations.
couple weeks ago.
That's enough to
Um,
count as one of our elite, I would think. It's not bad. You know,
Not bad.
not
Yeah.
bad return on investment.
Um,
But you're generously, it's like Robin Hood, right? You're out there fighting for the little guy and then sprinkling tournament entries back into the community, which is most noble of you. So thanks for the
yeah.
players who will be the
Stealing
eventual
from
recipients.
stealing from my own store credit and spreading it out to the people. Yes.
Okay, so
I
factions, as I understand it, are going to be voluntary, right? Like you can choose which one of the eight factions you join, and there won't be any sort of like. This is kind of like these are bonus events in a way, right? Not tied to the main prizing,
yeah.
so it's just for fun,
So there's
and nobody can really complain about an imbalance since you're sort of like doing this of your own, generous spirit, separate from the entry fee. So in other words, it's like this is a bonus on top of the regular prizes that the tournament would normally offer, right? So as I understand
yes.
it, this is another reason to join. Like it's like there's more coming out of this tournament than players are putting in, which is kind of pretty amazing. Okay,
Yeah,
so
and
yeah,
the idea is that it's optional and that like you can choose not to participate at all in your main league. Yeah, the main your main league results and the main league prizing
yeah,
won't be affected,
right.
and the hope is for that to sort of limit some of the spikiness that happened in Tarkir, um, and yeah, I would say there's also kind of a secret reason for having factions, which is that this league is pretty complicated and there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot going on, and having like a little community of your own, I'm kind of hoping that people will be able to like easily get help, or people will explain, or people will remind everyone that in week 4 we're ending a day early,
Right.
that sort of thing. So
Right. Well, gosh, I mean, we've been at this for like 20 minutes now. We are still in week one. Let- let's plow into week two of the rules. So what happens in week two? So we got the we're past week one. We're past Johnny Pody 2021, and then we get into Cody Rouse, the Pody winner for 2022, and this is the water week, right? What happens then?
yep, this is water. It's kind of the element of change, and so we have a reroll mechanic. So you're going to receive a pack of The Last Airbender, and you have the option. You don't have to, but you can either turn the 4 uncommons into 9 commons, or you can turn the 9 commons into 4 uncommons. Um, so it gives you a little bit of pack selection, and also lets you kind of go for either uh, maybe a higher quantity of cards if you're looking to just fill out your deck in week 2, or you could try to go for higher power um, if that's what you need, and kind of go for the uncommons. Um,
So we've done pack rerolls before, but never quite like this. This is a new spin on an old mechanic, and it's only around for one
yes.
week.
Hmm.
And I think that it's fairly distinct from the week one mechanic. And again, I don't know enough about the Avatar lore to know exactly where this fits in the story, but it sounds like it's a neat mechanic regardless of how it fits the flavor. I'll trust the Avatar heads to post in the comments of the video and let us know what they think of how that matches the story beats. And again,
Yeah.
there'll be some sort of side event that Cody Race designs, I guess, right?
Yep.
Okay, and then moving on, we have week 3, the Earth element week. What happens then?
So this mechanic, so again, we're at this point, the comeback packs are just normal The Last Airbender packs. But after each match, and notably it's not after each loss, but after each match, win or lose, you get to choose whether to endure or take a bonus. So you'll have sort of a choice up to 5 matches whether to take the bonus or endure, and each match that you sort of endure, you get a random shrine card and a random learn card. So this is a little like Speed Boost in Aether Drift, in that you can like wait and get a better bonus later, or you can take it sooner and have it for more matches.
Can you talk a bit more
But
about the kinds of bonuses that we're getting, and like, can you give us like a concrete description? Like, what if I cash in on my first match? What if I cash in on my 5th of the week? Right, because we can play a maximum of 5 per week normally, unless we carry some over. So what would be the difference between cashing in on the first loss and cashing in on the 5th?
So if after your first match you want the bonus, you'll get 1 shrine card and 1 learn card. And so the shrines are from M21 and
give me the marshmallow now.
Neon Dynasty. Yeah.
Sold.
But wait, if you wait until your second match, you get 2 shrine cards and 2 learn cards, and so on up to 5.
Well, wait a minute now. I'm no mathematician, but I can get 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 1, or I can get, for my last match, I get 5 and 5.
Yep.
So there's no choice here. I think you just get the stuff right away, right?
Well, it kind of depends whether you need, if you need the help right away, or if you're close to being eliminated, you're going to want to take the bonus now.
Oh, I see what you mean. It's a one-time bonus. I was thinking it's a bonus after every match. Like, you can have 5 marshmallows at the end of the week, or 1 marshmallow at the end of every match. Of course.
No, you can only take the bonus once.
Got you.
So, if you take it after the first match, that's it. There's no more. Or if you take it after the 5th match, you get 5 shrines, 5 learns.
Well, that's much more interesting.
Yes.
Design-wise, right? We give our players a choice. this interesting choice that you'll have to puzzle over for a week to get 5 or 5. 5 later or 5 now?
Yeah.
Real puzzler. Okay, so that week is ruled over by Richard K., who's our 2023 Player of the Year. I guess we'll see what kind of event he champions. Do we have any information on that yet?
So it'll probably be a cube of some sort. Okay. But I'm excited to learn.
Gotcha. And then we go into week 4.
What he goes for.
The Fire week, and Zach C., our 2024 Player of the Year, is the avatar for that week. Can you tell us what the mechanics are for week 4, which is, as I understand it, the last one before the tournament changes dramatically, which we'll also have to talk about.
Yes. So, in the lore of the show, there's sort of this, there's an event that happens. There's this comet that comes, and it vastly increases the power of all firebenders. So it's called Sozin's Comet, and this kind of leads to the war that's kind of at the center of the show. And so for this week, we're giving every single player at the start of the week, well, at the start of their 16th match. So underplay overplay will not affect your comeback pack mechanics. But we're giving everyone 3 packs of The Last Airbender. So
Just
there's
a
going to be an
bonus.
infusion of power at the start of this week, in addition to all the bonuses that people receive maybe at the end of week 3. So week 4 should be fairly high powered, and that'll sort of lead us to an exciting conclusion for the first part of this league.
So to sort of mix our IPs in a way that has become all too common for Magic these days, this is where your deck goes Super Scion.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least for 1 week, and then something happens. As you say, Sozin's Comet arrives, and what happens at the end of week 4? It seems like things get a little crazy. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. This is, up to this point, everything has been, I would say, there's a lot going on. It's a Saga League, so we've got new rules every week, but it's still recognizable as a league. Um, but I really wanted to, yeah, have this sort of reset, and I think one of the best ways to sort of uh, to use a reset is to like fundamentally like you don't just want to give everyone a new pool and say go.
Right.
You want there to be some sort of like reason for this reset, and you want something to really change. And so we're going from a solo league with a light faction mechanic into a team league where people who survive week 4, so anyone who goes 10-10 or better,
Mm-hmm.
will be split into teams of 3, and they'll receive each team of 3 will receive a pool of 12 packs that they need to split amongst the 3 of them, and then you'll have a combined record. And for 5 and 6 weeks, 5 and 6, like the teams at the top will then get to go to sort of the mega draft finals, essentially.
Okay. So can you tell us about the mechanics
But we can start
of
with
how this all this happens? Like, can you take us through like? So, for instance, I can say from the prizing point of view that anybody who survives Sozin's Comet, anybody who survives and has like at least an even record at the end of week 4 will prize out in the tournament in some form. We haven't got the final prize table because we don't have the final cap on players yet,
Yeah.
but that's what's meaningful, I think, for players. If you can make it to this point, you're in the money, so to speak. You're in the store credit for at least your money back for a re-up on the next tournament. And so congratulations for that. But then we enter into a whole new phase, right? Which is like what we call a team trio, would you say? Basically?
Yep. So we've had team leagues in the past. It's been a little bit since we've had one. So the last one was sort of the Chaos team trios from, gosh, I think last summer was
2 years ago, yeah.
when we had it.
Yep.
Yeah, but the idea, so everyone will have we'll look at everyone's record going into week 5, and we'll sort of make teams based on your finish. So players with, let's say, we'll try to group players with others who had similar records. So if you went 13-7, you'll likely be paired with other people who are 13-7 or close to that. And then each team gets 12 packs of Avatar and some bonus packs based on their wins over 10. And then you'll need to divide that pool and between the 3 players, and at that point, sort of people, um, you're a team in that your records are the same, but you'll be playing your matches individually, um,
Yeah.
and then you're trying to, yeah, basically do as well as you can.
Okay.
Um,
Just to stop you
so there'll
there.
be 2 week.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
just just a couple questions at this point to sort of break it down. Um, so, as I understand it, there is actually some incentive to do better than worse from weeks 1 to 4, in that you'll be partnered with people who are at a similar ranking as you. So there will be like a
Yep.
cluster of super teams, and you kind of want to qualify for those super teams by doing well from weeks 1 to 4. So there is some, like, you might think that, well, there's no point of getting extra points because basically I'm either eliminated or not, but like will gravitate towards like, and we'll have 4 or 5 super teams at the top of the standings who will be the favored
Mhm.
to win the tournament, or at least make the finals. That's interesting. What are you going to do, right? So the cutoff mechanic is just like anybody with less than 10 wins, see you next tournament. What do you do if you're left with a number of players that's not divisible by 3?
In that case, there will be one or two. You can call them lucky. You can call them. But we'll take people from 9 wins with the highest tiebreak, which is opponent match win percentage.
Okay, so
So
there could be a couple people on the
there,
bubble, so to speak, who get sucked into the next part of the tournament, even though their records don't really justify it. The fortunate few.
yes,
Let's call them. There'll be a maximum
very
of
fortunate for you.
there'll be a maximum of 2 of these people, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
because the alternative would be eliminating one or two people who made it to 10 wins. When
right.
we've said if you make it to
So
10 wins,
so just to review, right? Team trio rules, as I understand it, and it's been, like you say, 2 years. You're combining your wins together, and you're looking at your team results. So, like, your opponent match win percentage is calculated by how you do as a team. Your points total is calculated by how you do as a team. Your losses, similarly, calculated as a team. And if, right, is that correct so far?
yep,
Okay. Now,
yep.
this is the nightmare scenario, and this is what people worry about in these kinds of tournaments. And this is the question that I am forced to ask, Jordan. What happens
Oh, of course.
if someone, gets sick of the tournament, or hates their teammates, or gets ill, God forbid, right? What happens then to these teams? Now, in the past, we had a kind of hard line. We said, look, if you're missing a player, your team is out of the running, and so bad, so sad for you. Is it more or less the same here? Not that I'm making any
Yeah,
judgment, right? I'm just saying for the sake of
no,
clarity, right? I mean, I'm saying that there's
right.
good
So
reasons. Like in a two-legged race, if my partner gets shot, I'm losing the two-legged race, and there's no way around that, right? That's the tough part about team games, where you're bound to your team in terms of the performance. So that's fine, I think, right? It's kind of like if you were playing a
right.
basketball game and one of your players has decided to sit in the middle of the court for the rest of the game. Odds are you're losing that game, right? And so in the same way here, some people might, like the regular league formula, might be a bit leery or worried about joining a team and the potential results. I'm going to say that, having been through a few of these team leagues, partner leagues, team trios, etc., this rarely, if ever, happens, right? But there are some people,
Yeah.
and you know how Magic players are, they worry about these edge cases quite a bit. What are we going to do in case somebody from the team just decides to drop? Like we've seen people drop from
I mean,
Player of the Year tournament, right? That was unexpected. We had somebody
right.
say, you know what, not finishing my matches, bye bye, right? And in a round robin tournament, that kind of strands everybody else who was counting on completing those matches. And of course, you can't compel people to play. It's a voluntary arrangement. Again, we got to hit that right on the head. What happens?
Yeah. So in past team leagues, we've had people select their own teams, and so I think that uh, is a is a good way to make sure that if you're agreeing to be on a team with other people, you're probably going to stick it out and play the league. Here, it's it's a new scenario where we have not done random teams before, and I think it's been something that in past when we've designed past team leagues, like there have been people who have pushed for random teams to prevent like super teams from happening, but it's hard to just like put three random people on a team together and then you're hoping that they get along and that they're engaged with the league to like stick it out. So here, the biggest thing is that everyone who makes it to the team league has done pretty well in the tournament.
Right.
You know, they've made it to 10 wins. So they've shown that for 20 they're willing to play 20 matches.
Right. And that's
And
an
so the hope
important
is
that's an
that-
important difference, right? So if you put this kind of mechanic into the rules in week one, you don't quite know yet who's who,
It,
right? And in terms of
it would
like,
probably be pretty sketchy
Right.
to do that.
yeah,
Uh,
but I think you're right. Like that's an interesting element that I think probably a lot of people haven't considered, right? By week five, you're invested and you're doing well enough to prize out, and then it's just a matter of, well, how well am I going to prize out, right? So there's some
right.
incentive to push on. And I think that it's interesting that the teams aren't exactly random, right? Because they're decided by, as you say, performance records. So that's more incentive to do well from weeks 1 to 4 in that I want to be paired with people, I want to be teamed with people who have more intrinsic motivation or extrinsic motivation to do well. So I don't want to be down on the 10-10 bubble where I'm stuck with other 10-10ers and the team is, weak, right? And where morale is weak and where motivation is low, right? And so I think that it's actually quite interesting to staple on a team trio tournament on top of a regular league and to tie the team creation to performance record is something we haven't tried before. We haven't tried team trios like this ever before.
No,
So that's new.
it's entirely new. It is somewhat likely that something goes wrong. We are going to ask, I think, everyone before week 5 to just like commit to playing in the team league, right? So if maybe there is someone who is maybe they're 10-10 and
Right.
they're sort of over the format and they like we're going to give people an out to say like I would like to withdraw before going into the team league.
And
I
we-
doubt
and-
many
and we-
people
and we just give them the
will
ten-
take that option.
We just give them their $10 at that point and say thanks for playing, right? There's no punishment at that
Yeah.
point. Here's your money,
Yeah.
enjoy.
And then I would
But so
say
what
it's,
do we get them
this
on a
is
video
part
call? Do we
of
say
being-
we ask them like, can you commit? Do we do that? You gotta have like
Yeah, we
a
look
voice
them in
call
the
with
eye
me, and I'm like, I'm
and,
the TO. I need to know, can you commit to 2 more weeks of play? how are we gonna ask them?
I think it'll be just a form.
Oh, a form. Yeah, that's gonna save me some work. Thanks, Jordan.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
And be less intimidating, probably.
probably a bot message from whatever the Steve.
In
bot is
retrospect,
named.
that seems right. That seems absolutely correct. Did you have more to say with the team mechanics and yeah?
Yeah, so here's the other aspect of being on a team is that like staying together, like that's part of the game. And so if your team like devolves into arguing and like not working together, like that is
I don't know what you're talking about, Jordan. I've never seen that.
yeah,
That's crazy. That's crazy
it's happened
talk.
in the past. If your team is salty, then you will probably not be as successful as teams that work together, and like that's
By
flavorful
successful
for the show.
By successful teams, are you talking
which is
about the
about-
world famous Discers? Is that what you're talking about? You're talking
Yeah.
about like
Exactly.
this is like your goofus
Yeah.
and gallant, like moral exemplar kind of thing, right? Like here's a team that does things right. Here's a team that does things wrong. Don't be them, right?
Yeah, but I
yeah.
have a lot of faith in the people on this server, in that basically everyone is like extremely reasonable and loves Magic and
Yeah.
like wants to do well, And so I think, you'll form these teams, and you'll have two other people, and I hope that uh, you get to know them a little bit better, and
Right.
you become friends, and like work hard and work on sort of adjustments to everyone's decks, and you'll be sending cards to your other teammates after a loss, and so there's going to be there's all these reasons to work together, and there's not a lot of reasons to work separately.
Right.
Like, there's no benefit to taking all the good cards yourself, and like because if your other two teammates do poorly, like you're just not going to make it to the final four teams.
Right. So this is close to, let's say, a magic triathlon or something, right? Where different kinds of skills are rewarded at different parts of the tournament, but they're all relevant to your ultimate placement. And I do
Yeah.
like the idea, right? So, socializing with people that you already know previous to the tournament, like voluntary teams, it definitely advantages people who already have deep roots in the server. Working with a
Mhm.
random team kind of takes some of that natural advantage away, which I like, and also getting the chance to meet new people is always a good thing. And this is just a sort of happenstance of the tournament, but like the two final weeks of the tournament are the traditional holiday season in North America.
Yeah.
So hopefully people have more time and more free time to socialize than they would during like a
Yeah.
hectic work week or this kind of thing. So I think it's kind of fortuitous that the last 2 weeks of the tournament happened during holiday season. Spirits should be high, time should be freer, and maybe there can be a deeper level of collaboration. So we've talked about the dimensions of your results being tied to how well you and your teammates do and how you mutually benefit or disbenefit each other's ultimate placement. How can teammates help each other, and how can't they help each other within the rules? Can you take us
Yeah.
through that?
Yeah. So the big change from previous team leagues is that there's going to be no helping during the matches
Right.
um,
Why is
in weeks
that?
5 and 6, and that's something that in a way it's kind of it's a little too bad because that's a really fun aspect of team leagues, but we've had consistent feedback that it takes too much time,
Okay.
and needing to coordinate with your teammates, and like you want to like it's hugely beneficial to have help during matches, so you want to have everyone around, and suddenly you're just having to it's just too much time.
Okay.
um, and
So you
so
can't help it with gameplay, but you can help it with, I think, deck building. You can do a
yeah
little
so
bit of like strategizing in terms of like finding out who's got what, pool, and if that's a good matchup for you, right? You can sort of like do, let's say high level strategizing and scouting for each other, but not scouting during a match, obviously. You can't spy.
correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. um, so deck building, so splitting a pool into three decks is a very fun challenge,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion. I think you have three people and five colors, so you have to sort of figure out where you're going to overlap in
Yeah.
almost every single case, uh, unless you happen to have an amazing monocolored deck. Um, so that's going to be like the big decision at the start of week 5, is how do you divide your cards initially,
Yeah.
and then after someone loses, now you're deciding, okay, who should get. You can send one card to each teammate.
Right.
Um, what is that card going to be? I think a lot of cases, it's you take the best card in the color, but there may be um, some interesting decisions
And
there.
I noticed that there's no minimum card allotment or maximum card allotment for teams. So you could have asymmetrical splits in the pool, which I think is new. I think the old team trio tournament, I think, if I recall correctly, that there was a rule that everybody had to have the same number of cards. That rule is not in play here.
Yes.
So we could have some very interesting splits. Really powerful decks and really weak decks on the same team. And just for those who haven't played these kinds of tournaments before, there's been this sort of, let's say, optimal strategy, just so everyone's aware of this going into it, that what's worked in the past seems to have been putting the strongest deck out there first, letting the comeback packs pile up to the point, like if they're going to come, they'll come before the weaker player plays, so they get the benefit of having the best cards of those comeback packs added to their weak pool, which makes the weak pool stronger before it has to play. I don't know if that's going to be as effective in this tournament because you're only shipping one card per loss, so the advantage of that kind of strategy will be nerfed or minimized fairly considerably. So I don't know if there's a new dominant strategy. We'll all have to play it out and find out what works this time, I think.
Yeah, and I know there's been talk of, trying to build 2 strong decks and a weak deck, trying to sort of make it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, we don't want to be too
Prescriptive.
prescriptive in like how you split the pool. Like that is the strategy, and like you should. Yeah, it'll be dependent on everyone's pool, like, right? So you have to figure it out, and there's just gonna be a little bit more strategy outside of like the actual matches of Magic that happen in a team league, and I think that's a bonus. That's a good
for
thing.
sure. Yeah, that's emergently complex gameplay, which we enjoy, right, as tournament designers. Okay, let's hit the gas on this bus. Let's get it around the corner. Teams are eliminated after 11 combined losses. And I can't believe it. We're nearly 50 minutes in. We're still talking about new rules. The top 8 teams, is that 8 teams or 4 teams? At the end of week 6.
4 teams.
Right, sorry. The top, I'm working on an old printed rule set here, because this changed quite a bit. We'll talk a bit later about like how it changed from original vision. But the top 4 teams at the end of week 6 advance to the Team Mega Draft Finals. Now, people are going to be wondering, who haven't played this before, what the heck are Team Mega Draft Finals, Jordan? Run us through that.
This is the best part of team leagues, in my opinion, is that you get to do team drafts.
Can you advise during drafts? Can you do that? Can you talk to your partners?
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, so
excellent.
It'll be one team versus another team, so it's a 6-person draft. And you'll be alternating seats of the teams will alternate. And so the thing about team drafts is that you know that you're going to play every single person on the other team.
Right.
So if you pass someone a bomb, you're going to play against that bomb.
Right.
And so you have more decisions in terms of, like, in a normal draft, hate drafting doesn't make sense because it's just the odds of you playing against that specific person with that specific card are pretty low. But in a team draft, your teammates are going to have to play against those cards every single round. So you just have more opportunities to try to mess with what your opponents get. And then you also get to sort of... You don't get to talk during the draft.
Yep.
But you get to talk during the matches. And so you can sort of help out your teammates as the rounds go on.
So as I understand it, here's how it's going to happen. You're going to have 2 different mega drafts, right? Basically, Team A versus Team B and Team C versus Team D. Let's say that Team A and Team C win. The 2 bottom teams are eliminated, and then in the finals, it's A versus C, right? Now, is A versus C, is that a new mega draft, or are they using the old decks?
It's a new mega draft. So you'll draft again.
Okay.
And we have 2 different formats. So
talk us through them.
These were designed by Adam, but so the semifinals are going to be the last 6 sets. Very standard. So
good, more Spider-Man.
Avatar, Spider-Man.
People gonna enjoy that.
Yeah, Edge of Eternities.
Sorry,
Final Fantasy.
Had to say
it. I mean,
we get to see these cards in a new context, right? This might re-energize.
Not to change the rules while on the show talking about the rules, we probably could skip
Oh,
Spider-Man
come
and say
on.
it's not
Ah, come
a real
on.
set.
No, it's a real
Last
set.
six,
Like it or not, it's a
last
real
six full
set.
sets.
No, I think here's the thing. I think that like we're gonna see in these Mega Draft finals a new way to use these cards, right? On its own, with Spider-Man being the six main packs that make up your pool, we've learned through hard, lengthy experience that sucks. But I do think as a little spice in your Mega Draft, a pack of Spider-Man, or what we know
It
as through the Own Pass in the arena world, might
Yeah.
be good. It might be a little bit of like paprika in your curry. I don't know. Could have strange but unexpectedly good results.
I
I'm
mean,
hopeful. I'm hopeful.
it won't horribly disrupt the
Right.
draft for
Right.
sure.
Yes.
But the question is, what is the set that we're not using because of this? It's like in week one when you get to choose the last six, it could be instead of Spider-Man, I guess Duskmorn. I want to say
Let's
might be a
let's
nice.
give the devil its due. Let's give Spider-Man its day. We can't change the rules. They're out the door. We shipped them. We
They're
shipped
locked
them already.
in,
Yeah.
locked in,
Let's. I mean, I don't think they're
and
worth. I
yeah,
don't think they're
not a
worth
huge
changing
impact.
for a little detail like this. I don't think they're worth changing. All right. So that's the first. Those are the semifinals format. What's the
That's
finals
the
format? Yeah.
semifinals, and then the finals are going to be sort of lessons and shrine themed. So it's uh, Last Airbender, Strixhaven, Neo, and then Strixhaven, Neo, and then ending with Last Airbender.
Okay. So
So
it's like a mirror image of those three sets.
yeah,
That's
so
pretty cool.
focusing in on those, which yeah, I like that. You know, a little bit less chaos than
Yeah.
the semifinal. So just
Yep.
a new twist, lower powered sets, but um, there should be some pretty impactful synergies across. The most notable of which is definitely learn cards in Strixhaven combined with lesson cards in the Last Airbender is very powerful.
Whew. And the winning three team members will all get invitations to the next Player of the Year tournament, Player of the Year 2026. And
Yep.
they'll get at least a team emoji for the server, I guess. I don't know how you
Yep.
want to do that, but so that and plus the best sort of prizing that we have to offer for the tournament. So it's going to be a pretty happy team of three by the end of this long process. But because it's a rather long and skill testing process, I think that people that win this tournament are going to be rightly proud that they went through the triathlon to get here. I mean, gosh, Jordan, I'm short of breath. We're 55 minutes in. We just got through the tournament rules. I feel like I've done an instructional manual on a hyper complex monster board game. But
Yeah.
I gotta say, all of the rules seem crunchy but defensible, not only in terms of flavor but in terms of mechanics. You've made me excited to play Avatar, even though I'm not an Avatar head. Like, I cannot get my head around the universes beyond element of Avatar. I watched a season,
Yeah.
and to me, like, I was like, yeah, if I was 7 till 12, I would be like, yeah, this is the shit. Avatar is awesome, right? But like at my age, looking at Avatar, I'm like, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Like,
I first watched it when I was like in high school when it started coming out, maybe a little bit younger,
still
but
acceptable,
uh,
still acceptable at that point, I
yeah,
think.
I love it. I think it holds up. I've rewatched it with other people, and I think this is a great example of how Universe Beyond is terrible unless it's a universe that I love. In
Right.
which case, it's great.
Yeah, yeah,
Which
yeah.
you know, that's just gonna be the reality. It seems.
Well, I mean, look,
And
I can't justify to my adult girlfriend. I'm going to an Avatar: The Last Airbender Magic the Gathering pre-release. Magic the Gathering was already far enough in the pale for her. Like, okay, you like barbarians and high fantasy shit. Okay, I kind of get it. That's heavy metal. I'm like, yeah, You're sure it's tough stuff. You don't even understand. But then I'm like Avatar: The Last Airbender. I'm like, yeah, I can't go to that. I can play online. It could be my, you know, I just have to throw a blanket over the computer when I play my matches, but or whatever.
You didn't tell her it was the James Cameron Avatar. It's the set.
Yeah. Gosh, that's coming, I'm sure. No, but again, like this is. I understand some people grew up with this and probably have like a soft spot in their hearts for it for that reason. I actually had a soft spot in my heart for Spider-Man, but my heart was broken by the set. This set, at least mechanically, looks pretty awesome. People are hopeful for Avatar.
It's a real set.
Yeah, yeah, it's a real set. It's not a supplementary product that was pushed out to fill the tray, right? To barely fill the tray. So this is, and again, the mechanics look awesome. I think it's going to sustain a campaign length league. So I think we're in better shape than we were 6 to 8 weeks ago when we kicked off Spider-Man. Yeah. So again, not an Avatar head, but optimistic about this tournament and the prospects.
Yeah, I mean, I knew nothing about Final Fantasy, and the Final Fantasy set was really well done. So at the end of the day, it's magic. Like the gameplay is gonna matter more than the setting for, I think, at least a lot of people,
right?
Especially in League. But
yeah,
the goal is always for the people who do love The Last Airbender, is to create a league that celebrates it, and I really hope that I've been able to do that. Huge shout out to everyone else on the LC and you for agreeing with the vision and giving a lot of good feedback to get it to the solid place that it's at.
Well, that's the thing. To get back to my last question for this discussion, like how radically different did the final product turn out to be from your original vision when you came down from the mountain, right? So would you say that, like, by and large, this is a faithful representation of your vision, or were there things that were left in the cutting room floor that you're regretful about, or do you feel like, yeah, you kind of twisted my arm on this one, but it's still roughly the same? Where do you land on that?
Yeah, I think it's pretty. I mean, I really did come down with a broad vision of, normal league cut into a team league.
And that's
like that was the idea. And I think, originally I was thinking like, okay, 3 weeks and 3 weeks, but got feedback. Some of the other LC members, maybe Adam, kind of saying like, what if we did 4 weeks and 2 weeks? And that ended up working out really well, I think, because it let us kind of lean into the element cycle. And I think 2 weeks of a team league is, in this case, is the right amount.
I think so too. So that's a good change.
Yeah.
Is that the only sort of major difference, or?
Well, everything else was just sort of a
tweak.
A lot of these leagues it's an iterative design process of throwing out things, having people respond and like come out with their own ideas, and sort of like coming to hopefully the best possible. And so like with a lot of the weeks 1 through 4, all of those were just sort of like a discussion of like, okay, what can we do? We had this idea, we didn't have anything concrete. Let's come up with a bunch of mechanics and find things that are fun.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Jordan, for coming up with all this and for taking the pointers from the rest of the LC and arriving at what I would say conservative looks like a very interesting and exciting rule set. Can't wait to get involved. We're launching in another week, roughly, so we're getting very close to launch. Hopefully, we've done our job here today of explaining all of the main mechanics for you.
Shout out to anyone who's still with us.
Yeah, exactly. If you have any questions, make sure to DM Jordan directly. He's happy to address it.
All complaints, DM me. all
All right.
negative feedback, DM me,
And also,
and I'll take it all.
thanks, Jordan, for your generosity in funding this sort of side quest faction mechanic. And yeah, you just done a bang up job here. Again, congratulations, and excited to sort of spend the next 6 weeks exploring your tournament design. So, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, bye for now.
All right, see ya.